This is the Topic 5 study guide. Number 1, an animal shelter has a ratio of cats to dogs that is 3 to 8. Remember, there are 3 ways to write a ratio: with the colon, with the word to, and as a fraction. If the shelter only houses dogs and cats, what is the ratio of dogs to total animals? So here, cats is 3 because it's first, 3 to cats to dogs, 3 to 8. What is the ratio of dogs to total? So we know the dogs are 8 to total. Total means that I have to add both cats and dogs. So 8 and 3 is 11. So what is the ratio of dogs to total? Well, we have it written already, 8 to 11. So make sure if you see something that says total, you double check because it's not dogs to cats, it's dogs to total. All right, so this is part B. A second shelter has a ratio of cats to dogs of 2 to 4. So 2 cats for 4 dogs. If both shelters have 32 dogs, which shelter has more cats? So let's do the first one, shelter 1. So that is the ratio of 3 to 8. So I'm just going to make a table. Cats to dogs. So we said it's 3 to 8. Okay. If this shelter has 32 dogs, how many cats does it have? Well, what do I have to do? 8 times 4 gives me 32. I have to do the same thing on the top to make an equivalent ratio. So 3 times 4 is 12. So in shelter 1, when there are 32 dogs, there are 12 cats. Now let's do shelter 2. Cats, dogs. Here, the ratio is 2 cats to 4 dogs. Again, if it has 32 dogs, well, what do I have to multiply to get 32? Times 8. Got to do the same thing on top. 2 times 8 is 16. So, which shelter has more cats? Well, shelter 1 has 12 cats when there are 32 dogs, and shelter 2 has 16 cats when there are 32 dogs. So, shelter 2 has more cats. I'm comparing the ratios. Okay, number 2, complete the ratio table. And part B is kind of got lost down here. Plot the pairs of values on the coordinate plane. So first, let's do the ratio table. This is just like this table up here. It's just flipped. So how do I get from 3 to 6? I have to multiply by 2. I have to do the same thing on the other side. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay. And I want to keep going. I'm not given a number here, so I can just continue. Instead of times 2, I'm going to do times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. So once my ratio table is done, I need to plot these values, starting with the very first one. The x is 3, the y is 4. So I'm going to go over to 3 on my x, up to 4 on my y, and put a point. The next one is, let me zoom in a little. The next one is 6, 8. Over to 6 on x, up to 8 on y. And the last one is 9, 12. Over to 9, up to 12. And when I'm graphing these, I have to make sure I put a line with 2 arrows at the end. Okay, number 3. If Stacy bought 48 ounces of grapes, how many pounds did she buy? I've already given you the conversion factor. So we know 1 pound is 16 ounces. And remember, there's two ways to do this. You can make an equivalent rate. So I could do 1 pound to 16 ounces, where I start with my conversion factor. And I want to know how many pounds is 48 ounces. So what do I have to multiply by? 16 times what? 16 times 2. Nope. 16 times 3. Yes. 16 times 3 gives me 48. So I multiply the same thing on the top. Times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So that's the equivalent. Or you could use dimensional analysis, where you start with what you want to convert. 48 ounces. Make sure you put the ounces on the bottom. And 1 pound. Okay, I cancel the ounces. I multiply across. 48 times 1 is 48. This is essentially over 1. 1 times 16 is 16. When I divide, because this means divide. Oops, sorry, you can't see this. When I divide, 48 divided by 16 is 3, which is the same thing as this right here. So I know it is 3 pounds. Number 4. In 1 minute, Alex can type 44 words. At the same rate, how long would it take for him to type 176 words? So first, let's write what the rate is. 1 minute for 44 words. And I'm labeling 1 minute to 44 words. Okay. I want to know how long it would take to type 176 words. How many minutes? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So 44 times what gives me 176? 44 times 4 gives me 176. So I have to do the same thing on the top. 1 times 4 is 4. So I'm able to make an equivalent rate. And I know that it will take him, and I'm going to answer the question, it will take him 4 minutes to type 176 words. Number 5, how many fluid ounces of liquid are in the container shown below? I've given you the conversion factor. So here's 4 gallons of liquid. I want to know how many ounces is that. So I'm going to start with the conversion factor. 1 gallon to 128 fluid ounces. Okay, well, how many fluid ounces is 4 gallons? 1 times 4 is 4, so I have to do the same thing on the bottom. 128 times 4, and that gives me 512 fluid ounces. Number 6, the length of a folder is about 1 foot. Choose all of the metric measures that are more than 1 foot. So 10 centimeters. Well, 1 inch, here are the conversion factors that I have to work with. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So how many inches is 10 centimeters? Well, if we round this to, let's say, 3 centimeters, 3 times 3 is 9, but I need 10. So let me see, 10 centimeters. Let's do 10 centimeters divided by 3. because I'm going to round it. That's about 3 inches. So this is not 1 foot. How about 25 centimeters? Let's see. So 25 centimeters divided by 2.54. I'm going to get my calculator. 25 divided by 2.54. That's 9.8. Oops. 9.84. So that's about 10 inches. That's not a foot. How about the next one? 50 centimeters, and I'm still working with this, 50 centimeters divided by 2.54, because that's going to tell me how many inches it is. 50 divided by 2.54 is almost 20, 19.6. So I'm going to write almost 20 inches. And we know that 12 inches is 1 foot. So 20 inches is more than 12. So this is more than 1 foot. The next one is 1 meter. Well, 1 meter is 3.28 feet. So this one is automatically more than 12 inches. It's more than a foot. And the last one is 0.15 meters. That is more than 1 meter. So that is also more than 1 foot. All right. Number 7, Ben can buy a package of 5 shirts for $26.25 or a package of 3 for $14.25. What is the unit price per shirt in each package? So I'm going to start with this one. $26.25 for 5 shirts. So I'm going to divide because I want to know how much is 1 shirt. Divide by 5. When I divide by 5, I get $5.25 per shirt for the 5 shirts. I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. 3 shirts for $14.25. I want to know how much is 1 shirt because I want the unit price per shirt. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. When I divide 14.25 divided by 3, I get $4.75 per shirt. So those are the 2 unit prices. The last question, I want to know the better buy. So I'm essentially doing the same thing, but then I'm going to pick which one is the better buy. So Layla is buying yarn for a knitting class. She can buy 40 yards for $15.60. $15.60 for 40 yards. So let's start with that one. How much is 1 yard? Divide by 40. Divide by 40. I get 39 cents per yard. The second one is 60 yards for $19.20. $19.20 for 60 yards. I want to know how much is 1 yard. So now I have to divide by 60. Divide by 60. And I get, in my calculator, 32 cents per yard. So which one is the better buy? I want to spend less money. So I don't want to spend 39 cents. I would rather spend 32 cents, even though it's a couple of pennies off. This one, the second one, is a better buy because it's cheaper per yard.